Welcome, my dear. Come sit with me for a little while, and let us remember some of life's gentle things. There was a time when the kitchen was not simply a place to cook, but the quiet heart of the home, where wisdom was passed from one pair of hands to another. Many old kitchens held no recipe books at all, because so much was remembered, whispered, and lovingly repeated. Some traditions survived for generations without ever being written down. A handful of herbs drying near a window often carried stories older than anyone living in the house. In many homes, healing began quietly beside the stove long before anyone thought of medicine cabinets. Grandmothers often understood that comfort itself could be a kind of nourishment. Today, as life moves ever faster, many people find themselves longing for the quiet rhythms those kitchens once offered. Perhaps the old kitchens were never truly about food alone. Perhaps they quietly taught us how to care for one another. I still remember stepping into my grandmother's kitchen as a child and feeling that everything somehow slowed down the moment I crossed the doorway. There was always bread cooling on the counter, herbs drying near the window, and something quietly simmering on the stove. No one hurried there. Conversations unfolded slowly, often while peeling apples or shelling peas. Many ancient cultures believed that preparing food with calm hands brought peace into the home itself. In biblical traditions, hospitality around the table was considered sacred. Science is slowly rediscovering that shared meals may support emotional well-being and strengthen family bonds. Yet perhaps our ancestors understood this truth long ago, without needing studies to confirm it. Tonight, we will quietly return to those kitchens together and remember the wisdom they still hold. For countless generations, the kitchen was the first room to awaken and the last room to fall asleep. Morning often began with the sound of firewood crackling and kettles gently singing. Children learned patience while waiting for bread to rise. Adults shared worries and hopes around worn wooden tables. Even silence was welcomed there. I remember grandmothers who rarely offered advice directly, yet somehow taught everything through their daily routines. Watching them prepare meals often felt like receiving a lesson in gentleness. Today, some researchers are beginning to understand that repetitive kitchen tasks may reduce stress and encourage mindfulness. Perhaps this is why so many people still find peace while baking bread or preparing tea. Old kitchens quietly remind us that ordinary moments can become sacred when shared with love. In many old kitchens, herbs hanging near the window were as common as bread on the table. Long before pharmacies existed in every town, families often turned first to the plants growing just outside their doors. I still remember seeing bunches of chamomile carefully gathered and tied with simple twine each summer. Many grandmothers quietly believed that every season offered the plants a family would need. Sage was often treasured for cold winter evenings, while mint brought comfort during warmer months. In biblical times, aromatic plants and oils were deeply valued for both daily life and spiritual traditions. Today, modern studies quietly support the idea that many traditional herbs may offer soothing properties. Yet perhaps the greatest gift these herbs offered was not healing alone, but the simple reassurance that care was always close at hand. There was comfort in knowing that wisdom could grow quietly in the garden. Even today, a few herbs hanging in the kitchen can gently remind us of those slower and more peaceful rhythms. There was a time when bread was baked almost every day, and the scent alone could make a house feel like home. Many families guarded their bread recipes as precious treasures passed lovingly from one generation to the next. I still remember watching dough rise beneath a linen cloth, while the kitchen slowly filled with warmth. Bread held deep meaning in many ancient traditions and was often seen as a symbol of provision and gratitude. The process itself taught patience. Nothing could be hurried. Science is slowly rediscovering that slow, repetitive activities such as kneading may encourage relaxation and mindfulness. Perhaps this is why so many people still return to baking when life feels uncertain. The old kitchens quietly understood that nourishing the body could also nourish the heart. A simple loaf, made with care, often carried far more than flour and water. Many old kitchens held traditions that were never written down, only remembered. A grandmother might quietly reach for lemon balm after a difficult day, or chamomile before bedtime. These small rituals often carried as much emotional comfort as physical relief. Science is slowly rediscovering that many traditional herbs contain naturally soothing compounds, but perhaps our grandmothers already understood something equally important. Sometimes healing begins with feeling cared for, and nowhere was that care more visible than in the old kitchen. Those traditions may be quieter now, but they still whisper gently to us. Perhaps all we need to do is listen. The wisdom of the old kitchens was never truly lost. It simply waits to be remembered. The old kitchens may have grown quieter now, but their wisdom has never truly disappeared. It still waits for us in a loaf of fresh bread, in a steaming cup of tea, and in the simple act of preparing food for someone we love. Sometimes the simplest things still matter. Take gentle care of yourself this week, and if you can, spend a little time in the kitchen remembering the quiet wisdom that still lives there.